Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So good to see you here. We are going to give people 2 whole minutes to log in and get through the registration system. So in those 2 minutes, we're just going to get ourselves started. Find the chat and tell us what your name is, what college you work at or attend, if it's the same one, maybe it isn't, and what role you play there. So my name is Crystal, everybody. It's so wonderful to see you here. I am the director of a tutoring center at Los Angeles Pierce College. Super awesome to be here every Friday with all of these amazing folks. I'm also a coordinator for the California Community Colleges Success Network. So, and that is the organization that hosts this party that we throw every Friday at 3 o'clock for peer educators and learning assistance professionals. So who else do we have in the chat? Let's take a look. So we've got Vanessa from Delta, San Joaquin Delta. Fun fact, Vanessa, that was my first community college. I mean, like I was in some community college, like in high school, but I moved to Stockton, California after high school for reasons that don't matter. That's better not to know. But I took my first semester of college at San Joaquin. How's it going up there?
It's going pretty good, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah, just hanging in there with everything going on, taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, it's so good. I don't think we've had anybody from San Joaquin Delta. We actually had a tutor expo up there too one year. So they're pretty amazing. All right.
I got to go to that one.
You did go to that one?
I feel like I didn't.
Oh, that was such
I
a
feel
good
like I
one.
missed out.
Yeah, we'll have Tutor Expo again someday. We've got Cameron here from CSUN. Oh, hey, Say Dempsey, how's it going?
Hey, thanks.
Good to see you again. So cool. And then Sarah's here from El Camino. Sarah's going to be on next week. Sarah's presenting next week, huh, Sarah?
I am. Hey, sorry, I have to have my camera off today, but hi.
Okay.
I'm excited about your topic.
Oh, cool. Well, let me know if there's anything in particular you want me to cover.
All right, cool. We got Jackie. Welcome. Chris. Oh, look, it's Chris. Good to see you here. It's been a long time, no tomatoes. And Eduardo and Annalisa. Good to see you. So as we're coming in, go ahead and find us the chat. Tell us your name, tell us what college you're from, and tell us what role you play so we can check out all the awesome diversity of the rooms. We have people from all kinds of different colleges with all kinds of different roles, faculty members, SI leaders, tutors, mentors, classified staff members. It is awesome. So just let us know where you're from so we can see all of the amazing expertise in the room. And we're going to get this party started. So again, my name is Crystal. I'm a tutoring center director at Los Angeles Pierce College, and I'm also a coordinator for the California Community College Success Network. That's 3CSN for short. And 3CSN is the organization that hosts this amazing event. They sponsor us so that we can come together for free every Friday at 3 o'clock and hold conversations amongst peer educators and learning assistance professionals so we can all kind of share our practice and get better at what we do and also just get to know each other and all of our awesomeness. So today we have some amazing speakers from Cal State Northridge who are going to help us understand not only what an amazing faculty SI leader partnership looks like, but also we're going to dive deep into a particularly successful exercise that they've done to engage student participation and ownership. So with that, I would like to invite up Keelan and Lizzie to take it away. Show us some radness.
Ooh, we got Matador love in the chat. Thank you. Very nice. I feel like everybody, like, we're like 6 degrees of separate, or maybe less, from anybody in the world in Cal State Northridge. I don't know why. Wherever you go. All right, Lizzie, you ready?
I'm ready. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Elizabeth. I am an SI leader, and I work very closely here with Professor Koenig. I've known him since my freshman year, and now I'm in my 3rd year. So it is a wonderful opportunity to not only work together, but cultivate our relationship. And we're going to be talking about an activity called Question of the Day, which is something we've used since I was a freshman. And it's been pretty successful in keeping students engaged and creating a community within a classroom. So just really quickly today, the overall agenda, just so we can all see what we're doing. We're going to do a quick sign in and then practice our own question of the day with you guys. Go over some community agreements and engagement norms, and then Professor Koning and I are going to discuss the origins of how this question of the day activity began and why we continue to implement it. And then we'll get into a shared meeting and we'll discuss a little bit about it. And hopefully at the end, you guys can practice adding your own question of the day to our list, and hopefully we'll get some pretty good questions.
No pressure, but I need one for Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're running out of ideas. Good questions. Okay, so outcomes. Well, what we hope that you guys will get out of our lesson today is considering ways to use question of the day in your classroom settings to support not only the engagement of students, but also create a community within the classroom and hopefully retain not only their attention, but their close bonding with each other throughout the semester. And you guys will hopefully see how Professor Konings and I relationship is used to practice the question of the day, and how our close bond kind of helps with that a little bit. And once again, you guys will add to our list. You'll try to come up with your own question of the day that maybe you might want to ask. For today, we're going to be talking for about an hour of our question of the day lesson. And if you guys want to stay after the seminar for 4 to 4:30, I will hang around and we can discuss things maybe that we learned. We can ask questions. It'll be a really good time, I promise. Yes, a party. And if you guys have any questions, oh, next slide. Oh, there we go. If you guys have any questions or comments throughout our seminar, feel free to put it in the chat, but also there's this really cool reaction button on the bottom of our Zoom where you can raise your hand, and if you feel like you want to, ask or talk verbally, we'd love that. We love to hear voices. So either or is going to be good, and we'll be monitoring the chat. So, okay, it is time to do our sign-in and practice our question of the day.
Yeah. I can't grab it from there. I have to get it from this other one. Okay.
Little technical difficulties, that's okay.
Oh, goodness. Okay, one moment. Just share this here. Thank you for your patience as Google Docs load. Wow, it's really taking a while.
It slows down when it knows you're in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
There we go. Okay, so you should be able to get in here and edit. And I'm going to put myself back on mute while Lizzie tells you what to do.
Okie dokie. So everyone's got the link. All we'll be asking you to do when you come onto the Google Doc is just write your name and rate how you're feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, you're dragging yourself out of bed, and 5 being you are absolutely feeling amazing and you're on top of the world. And then our question of the day for you to answer is, what is your biggest pet peeve? And we find that this question usually is a great discussion because there always seems to be overlap with other people's pet peeves.
And now that we have warmed up and gotten all fired up and angry, sometimes feeling, I guess, vindicated because other people agree with you. So that's good. We just wanted to quickly talk about some community agreements and engagement norms. And I know you all are, I think that we have a lot of regulars in the room. So I'm certain that you know about our 3 CSN events, but just, just in case, always a good practice to just remind ourselves and add to this as well. This should say Cameron, so please ignore where it says Lindsay. But get ready to read, share in the chat and verbally and contribute to a list of questions. So we're excited to collaborate with you all again. I have a class on Monday and I am excited to share your question of the day. Give yourself permission to explore new tools and ideas, interact in different ways, whatever way is most comfortable to you. Confusion is great. This comes from reading Apprenticeship, right? Confusion is cool as long as you don't stay there. So welcome confusion and questions, and we'll try to get there together. Be kind to each other, support others as they have questions and share observations. And I think that also goes with the airtime, just trying to watch ourselves a little bit. And then let Cameron, who has stepped into the incredible shoes of Lindsay Lazo, will let Cameron know if you want to be put in the no breakout room, which I think is just the coolest thing ever. So if you want to take just a minute, if anybody has anything that we need to add to this community agreement engagement norms for our work together today, if you could put that in the chat, just give you like a quick minute to look that over and see if that works for you. We are now moving on to our question of the day, journey. So Lizzie, did you want to start us off with that?
Sure, I'd be very happy to.
Have some soft music playing as we do this part.
Yes. Let's just take a flashback 2 years ago. My first semester as a freshman, I was actually Professor Koning's student in her English class. And the SI during my class was a gentleman named Javier, who was really kind and really sweet. And actually, he was the first person I saw as an SI leader in action. I didn't know what it was when I first began. And he would always bring these question of the days to our SI. And for me as a student, I was very introverted. I still am. And I'm super shy. I would always sit in the back of the classroom. I didn't really interact with anybody. But I found that even though I wasn't interacting or talking with the other students, doing these question of the days at the beginning of our SI session was making me feel closer to them without actually having to really do any talking with them. The questions of the day would kind of already bring up a discussion. So everyone would just talk and it was really friendly. And I give him a lot of credit for creating the community that I needed as a freshman, because it really did help lift my spirits. I was going through a rough time, so it was the light in that semester that I really needed. And now I'm encouraged by Professor Koning, the closer our relationship has gone over the years, that now I'm her SI leader. So it's a great story arc of how we've gotten here.
And the really, I mean, the class was a really incredible group of students. But what I noticed as I was watching in a different way, what Javier was doing, and I started to see that it was very engaging, even though, and we're going to kind of talk about different ways that you can use it. Like the way that Javier did it was just to ask the question and then you would move on. So it was, he got the idea from actually a K-12 educator. And he really, he had this whole list of, kind of fun questions, sometimes controversial. So you'll see some of them as like crew socks or short, like crew socks or ankle socks, things like that. And so I noticed that they were having so much fun, and I was doing like little things, like I would just ask people just randomly, like, what did you have for breakfast and stuff, but I wasn't doing something that was formalized. And so I started incorporating it too. So I kind of look at things that might be complementary because of course, I felt like I saw the engagement that was happening there. And it was a 9:30 class. So it wasn't that early, but it was early enough that people were still kind of sleepy. So it was a good way to get people engaged. And then when Lizzie and I, a bit before Lizzie started, before I was able to convince her that she really was going to be an amazing SI leader, which she truly is, started working with my SI leaders to formalize it a little bit more. And especially during the pandemic, one of the things with online education is that, as we know, like we have to think about ways to really engage students and encourage them to get there on time and to be involved. And it actually, the question of the day has been something that many students have said was a lifeline for them. And so I just wanted to share one piece here that I really appreciate. So one of the students wrote this in a reflection. Most importantly, being in this class has felt like a safe environment for me. Sometimes we are missing the motivation from others in our household. So having it in this class made a significant difference for me. By implementing daily check-ins, everyone in this class can feel like they matter. Everyone in this class has a voice. Everyone in this class can eventually learn to trust their voice and ideas more in order to incorporate it onto their work. This will positively influence you to engage more and share your thoughts confidently with others. And so as we think about something again, and I think one of you mentioned this in the chat, that sometimes we think, well, it's a small thing, right? It's just a little, and maybe and this was the anxiety that I was having. I was like, it takes time. It takes time. And I'm like, but we've got so much work to do. It takes time. And then as I started thinking about the hard work that we were doing, this is necessary in order for them to engage in the productive struggle of the work, and especially some of the topics that we work on in class. It's very heavy, and so having this question of the day actually and checking, kind of engaging with it a little bit gives us enough that we can kind of fortify ourselves. And the students also really appreciate the check-in on how they're doing too, that section. So yeah. Lizzie, anything else before we want to get to the good stuff too? I mean, this is all good stuff. But.
Other than if you do choose to implement this in your classroom environment, you'll also find some really interesting stories that other students have.
Yes, one of our favorite questions of the day that I don't know. I think I got it from one of our colleagues. It was a kind of a change with her, one of the icebreakers that she used, and it was to share something about you that other people wouldn't know or might not know about you. And it became this very interesting thing because Lizzie's colleague, Mercedes, another SI leader, shared that she had been in this high school in her high school that she died and went to her own funeral. And apparently at her high school, they staged deaths before prom or somewhere around there to scare everybody on campus and really think that they're dead. And then they go and they speak. I mean, so anyway, so this was already incredible. But then the other students then began to share all kinds of like near-death experiences and, you know, things like that. It was just really interesting. So they enjoyed hearing about each other's lives. Yes, and thank you, Lizzie. So there's a question in the chat about inappropriate answers. Oh yes, Pablo Escobar's hippos. Yes, I heard about that one too. So we can maybe add that one for sure. But we do not get inappropriate answers. The most inappropriate was that everyone should try LSD. But I already put like a little disclaimer that it needs to be PG. He of course responded to that. I thought that was PG, but anyway, make a long list of things. Yeah, exactly. I will not repeat that out loud. Okay, so that's that. All right, so want to move forward a little bit, but thank you for listening. And we are now moving on to a reading activity together because that is a 3CSN kind of jam that we like doing. We don't always have a lot of time to read together. So you can go directly from, oh, it's going to do it again. You can go directly from the slides and then I can also just grab this here. One moment again. Oh, thank you, Lizzie.
Gotcha.
All right, very good. So we're going to give you, let's take 8 minutes to read this article, looking for golden strong lines that resonate for you. And then type a golden line as well as why you chose it in the chat. Oh, wait, actually, yes. Just actually hold on to that because we're going to go into breakouts. So, well, we hope that you had a lovely time. We can tell that many of you waited until the last second to come back. So that's a good sign. As you know, as Crystal said, you know, that's a good sign that you were enjoying talking to each other about engagement activities. So hopefully that was useful. And I hope that you liked the article. It's one that has been very useful in these times that we're living through. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Lizzie, who is going to lead you in an interactive portion of our time together.
Yes. Oh, they're asking about sharing golden lines. Should we have them put that in the chat? Their golden lines.
Yes, Crystal, they were sharing theirs, but yes, please put yours in the chat. And if anyone has a really good one that you wanted to share in the chat, that would also be nice. You're finding structured ways to acknowledge that anxiety and transform it into meaning and purpose allows it to exist without completely taking over. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Thus making space for connection to one another and to course content. Yes. Stuff matters, right? You know, and it's worth taking the time, which is sometimes hard. We must first recognize that anxiety will be in the different kinds of room, whether we address it or not. And I think that's so, oh my goodness, so important for us to just acknowledge and think about. And I'm sure that you probably were talking about that in your rooms. But to pretend that things are just hunky-dory is not to be authentic. And so bringing our authentic selves into the classroom is really important. And as peer educators, as faculty, as folks across campus, to just stop and say, like, how are you doing? And like, how are you really doing? It's actually a very powerful thing, and students, and it helps them to feel seen, right? It helps all of us to feel seen. All right, so we are grateful for your wonderful, wow, we've got some twinsies in here. Very good. All right, well, we wish we had a little more time to, as always, because that's a sign that we're having a good time as well, when we're just like, if we had a little more time. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Lizzie, and Lizzie is going to lead us in some more fun. And really, it's a selfish desire to have a really good question of the day on Monday.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to steal your question of the days and use them in our class. We are running out of ideas. I'm kidding. Well, we've come to pretty much the end. I know it's already been an hour. And now we're going to have you guys practice writing your own question of the day that you would like to get, asked, whether it be in a classroom setting or, or maybe just in a regular normal setting. Maybe someone just comes up and asks you something, maybe gets you thinking. The link is in the chat, so if you would all be kind enough to go ahead and follow that, you will find yourself here at a Google Doc. And here's a list that Professor Koning and I have created, and it's still a work in progress. There's a lot still being added. You'll notice that we've kind of broken up the question of the days into 3 different sections, one being the short answers, another being in-depth, and then the third being self-care kind of questions. We broke it up based on not only amount of time that you want taken when asking that sort of question, but also how much in depth of a answer do you want? Short answers are usually very quick. A lot of the time students know the answer, so it doesn't take very much to just kind of verbally say it. But the in-depth answers are the ones that we have found to be successful in our classroom setting. It's always the ones that are not only getting them to think about their answers really hard, but also they come up with some really good stories. And those are usually always the fun ones. So what we're gonna ask you guys to do is try and create a question of the day and add it to our list. At the bottom, you'll notice some rows. And it could be any question you want, anything at all. Just go ahead and plop that bad boy in there. It can be a controversial.
Oh my goodness, there's some really good ones already.
I am seeing the pineapple on pizza. Like, controversial ones are always ones that get the students talking, and those are the fun ones.
Yeah, don't ask them what their favorite thing is. Ask them what their least favorite thing is. That's when they get really, it just, oh my goodness, that whole thing in our, I think I shared this in one of the peer educator power series, but when one of the students shared, because we were talking about things that people didn't like, but somehow we found out that she likes to chug ranch dressing. Yes, chug ranch dressing. And that became a community building, along with the tree octopus and a couple other things, were like our anchors for and then the parrots, right, Leslie?
Mm-hmm.
That was when you asked about their animals. Then we learned that 2 of them have parrots.
Mm-hmm.
And then they became best friends.
They really did. They hang out now. Mm-hmm.
Is cereal soup? That's a really good question and very hard for me to think about. I really like the Chafee one. This is a good one. And I've seen this one in action, so. Oh, In-N-Out or Five Guys. We actually had one of the students. So the students have started also bringing in, like, they'll start asking, like, I was really curious about this. Would you mind, if you don't have a question of the day today, would you mind like asking everybody this question? So one of them was Jersey Mike's or Subway. So that was one of them. Another one was, what is your go-to Starbucks drink? That was one of their favorites. So things like that. 2 truths and a lie. What keeps you going when you're going through a rough time? Yes. Oh. What is the song you would want playing every time you enter a room? I love that.
Mhm.
Whose was this one? This is fantastic. Does anyone want to claim that?
Oh, I did it for one of my tutoring sessions and it was really fun, all the
Ah,
answers. And then we made a playlist. So every time students walk through the room, when they come in to tutoring session, we can play all those songs.
yes. Yes. Oh, it's so good. Because we've done one for like, what's your theme song? But sometimes they find that confusing. So I really like this phrasing. What is one little thing that made you smile today? Oh, one thing you're proud of accomplishing this past week. Star Wars. Lizzie, is that yours? The Star Wars or Star Trek?
That is not mine, but I will claim it unless someone else claims that question.
Whose was that one?
It's mine, but Lizzie, you can share it with me.
Okay. And my answer is Star Wars.
Oh, that was not the answer we were looking for. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. I guess my privileges are revoked now.
Enrique gets it.
All right. Well, we are at 3:58. So my goodness, how time flies. And this was the most fun that I could imagine having at 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. So grateful. And Crystal has popped some things into the chat here. And our last slide. If you have to go, please make sure to come back next Friday at 3 for setting and maintaining boundaries with a celebrity in our midst. So that's exciting. If you would like to do this, we have shown you how easy and fun it will be. So please come back and do go ahead and click on the link in the chat for a call for proposals for fall. It's already upon us. If you'd like to stay until 4:30, there will be more fun and games and excitement. And complete the evaluation in the chat. Thank you, everybody, so much. I wish I could personally stay for the disco party because that is pretty much the best part. But I will definitely, well, I can't watch the recording because it also won't be recorded. So that's good. But thank you from the bottom of my heart for making my day way better. I'm up to a 4.5 now. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Take care.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.